From vaccine delays to the battle over the next COVID relief bill, there is certainly a lot in limbo right now in Washington as we continue to battle the pandemic. Joining us this afternoon is the moderator of Face the Nation, Margaret Brennan, live for us in Washington. Margaret, thanks again for joining us today.
Good to be with you.
Well, here we go. These winter storms have been battering the country. You look at what's happening in Texas and other parts of the country right now. Talk a little bit about the impact this is having on the distribution of the vaccine. It can't be good, right?
No, it's very disruptive. That's at the federal level and at the local level. In fact, the Biden administration said that about 6 million doses of the vaccine had been held up due to these weather-related delays. That's about 3 days' supply. That's at the federal supply level. Then you look at what's happening in local communities, and it obviously varies depending on what the weather has been like. In a place like Texas, in Houston, for example, they had to scramble Monday to use up already thawed out doses of the vaccine so that they didn't go to waste and didn't go bad. We're going to have Mayor Sylvester Turner on the program Sunday, and also the mayor of Fort Worth, Texas, to talk to us about how those cities are dealing with such an acute crisis with the just completely overwhelmed electrical grid, the cold, and frankly, a state that seems just completely unprepared.
Yeah, very, very sad situation there right now. And along the lines of COVID, obviously President Biden's been very focused on his COVID relief bill. What's the latest on the situation with that?
Well, the deadline that is being eyed by the White House is March 14th. That is when the federal unemployment insurance benefits that are already in place will expire. And so that's the sort of decision-forcing deadline here. The bill itself is still being written. The House has to vote on it, then it has to go to the Senate, and there it is going to be a real question as to whether the Senate will adjust it to include some of the things that might get Republican support and might get some Democratic support from people like Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia, who have objected to some of the provisions in the existing White House version of the proposal. So there is still some negotiating to happen in order to make it bipartisan. But keep in mind, President Biden can muscle this through with only Democratic support, but he still has to keep his entire caucus in line in order to do it. So there's still some negotiations happening behind the scenes.
Okay, I know a lot's going to play out, and you'll be all over it coming up on Sunday. Margaret Brennan, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. We appreciate it. Just a reminder, everybody, you can catch Face the Nation with Margaret coming up Sunday morning at 10:30 right here on Channel 3.